Good evening, councillors, staff, members of the public. I declare the Ordinary Council meeting of the 30th of June 2021 open at 5:30 p.m. Please stand, everybody. I wish to acknowledge the Gariada people as the traditional custodians of the land on which we are meeting and recognise their strength, resilience and pay my respects to the elders past, present and emerging. Thank you. Just before we commence tonight's Ordinary Council meeting, Council and I would like to make a comment and acknowledge the passing of two Headland well-known community members. David E. Lambert was a councillor of the town of Port Hedland from 1997 to 1980, a former president of the Port Hedland Wine and Dine Society, active member in the Port Hedland Chamber of Commerce, and one of the builders and owners of the Homestead Centre, and Charter Secretary of the South Hedland Lions Club. Whilst residing in South Hedland for more than 40 years, David had his own financial planning business and own operate income tax professional franchise. I would also like to acknowledge the passing of a former Town of Port Hedland employee, Peter Waldron, who worked at the town for over a decade. Last year, Peter nominated for the council due to his passion for our community and desire to see Hedland prosper and develop into a thriving progress regional city. Council and I offer the heartfelt condolences to the family, to both David and Peter. Thank you. Item 3, recording of attendance. The video and audio of this meeting has been recorded and live streamed to facilitate community participation and for minute-taking purposes, which may be released upon request of third parties. In accordance with section 616 of the Town of Port Hedland Standing Orders Local Law 2014, members of the public are not permitted to use any visual or audio, electronic device or instrument to record proceedings of any meeting unless that person has been given permission to do so by the presiding member. Members of the public are also reminded that in accordance with section 6117(4) of the Standing Orders, mobile phones must be switched off and not be used during the meeting. Item 3.1, attendance. I note that councillors are present. Attendance is listed under section 3.1 of the minutes. 3.2, attendance by telephone, instantaneous communication. There are no councillors attending by telephone or using instantaneous communication. 3.3, apologies. Are there any apologies here?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have an apology from Councillor Coles.
Councillor Coles, thank you, CEO. 3.4, approve leave of absence. There is none. 3.5, disclosure of interest. Councillors, do you have any disclosure of interest at all? Sorry, Kate.
Yes, thank you for 11.3.1.
Yes.
A declaration of proximity for the coastal.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Gillingham.
Coastal item, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Do I have any more conflicts of interest?
Yes, Mayor.
Yes, Councillor
for
Bartho.
item 11.3.2, lease of a portion of Reserve 30768, I wish to declare an impartiality interest due to my association with Port Hedland Game Fishing Club, who lease the adjacent building.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Bartho. Do you have any more conflicts of interest?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Just in relation to item 11.3.2, I'd like to declare a financial interest at this stage.
Okay, thank you, Councillor McDonough. Okay, item 4, applications for leave of absence. CEO, do you have any requests for leave of absence at all?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We have one from Councillor Gillingham
Councillor
for
Gillingham.
the period 3rd of July to the 19th of July.
Yeah, thank you through the chair. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Gillingham. Oh, yeah. Okay. Can I have a mover, please, for Councillor Gillingham's leave of absence? Thank you, Councillor Zoom. Councillor Yorkie, thank you.
So moved.
Thank you. Councillor McDonough, thank you. Yeah, Councillor Ankovic, she's good. Okay, is anyone against the motion? No, motion's not opposed. I declare it passed 8-0. Item 5, response to previous questions. Response to questions taken on notice from Councillor Gillingham at the Ordinary Council meeting on the 3rd of June 2021 are printed in the agenda and have been sent to all councillors via email. Item 6, public time. Ladies and gentlemen, this is an opportunity for members of the public to ask public questions of council. Section 6.7-3 of the Town of Port Hedland Standing Order, Local Law Orders requires members of the public wishing to ask questions to complete the question form and place the completed form in the tray provided. If the presiding member determines that the questions and statements are out of order due to the use of offensive or objectionable expressions or are defamatory, they will not be recorded or responded to. 6.1, public question time. I declare public question time open at 5:36 p.m. Do you receive any questions at all, CEO?
No, I've received none.
No? Okay. Do we have any members of the public wish to ask any questions? Yes. Bill Zombek, would you please come forward and state your name and address, please?
Good evening. My name is Bill Jombach. I reside at Unit 6, 27 Kingsmill Street. Long-term resident and ratepayer of Port Hedland for over 30 years and former councillor. I've one question in relation to item 11.4.3, Sutherland Street Shared Path Extension. My question is, I sincerely and respectfully ask if this council can consider adopting option 2, which is to amend the officer's recommendation that council may further defer this matter until the marina is constructed and reassess the project then. The reasons for which I will read out during public statement time. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Zombek. Thank you. Do we have any more public questions? Yes, Chris, please come forward and plate your state address, please.
Yes, hello. Hello, Mr. Mayor.
Chris.
Chris Wally of Bower Drive, Mandurah, or formerly of the Retirement Village, Port Hedland. My question is, now that Retirement Village has been demolished, does council know when and where the new Retirement Village is going to be built and at what cost?
Thank you, Chris. We'll take that on notice. Thank you. Do you have any more public questions at all? Yes, please come forward, state your name and address, please. Thank you.
Camilo Blanco, 18 Harbour Way, Port Hedland, Wedgfield. Just in relation to the budget, do you know what date the budget is referring to in regard to the interim actuals? When were they finished? And what does the budget, what date does the budget refer to on the interim actuals? See, Mayor, you should know that.
One of the directors would like to help us with that. Director Corporate.
Okay, so I can give you an example. In the Audit and Finance Committee, interim actuals were done quarterly, and our budget was the adjustments to the budget were referred to in the quarterly changes in the interim actuals. Okay, so we have a budget for us now, and there's no reference to what date those figures refer to.
So through the chair.
Audited.
Through the chair, when the budget was commenced, the workings on the budget. The actuals that were considered at the start of it were at the end of December, because that's when the process started. And then, of course, once the last year was finalised, then they were taken into
December
account as well,
2020.
which is a normal process at the start of the budget process.
Okay, so just so we're clear, the interim actuals that have developed the figures for this budget have been taken from an audit report done in December 2020. Is that right? Is that right? So they're 6 months old.
The interim actuals that would have been used at the commencement of the budget process would have been at the 31st of December, because that's when our budget process would have commenced. We then review as we go along.
Okay, so my question is, when is the date that these actuals actually refer to? Is it December 2020? Mayor?
It would be May, would it not?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you.
May 2020. May.
So reviewed each month and reported to council through the monthly.
Audited
reports.
by our auditors. By our auditors, Town of Port Hedland auditors, not the administration.
The audited reports, the audited accounts are only done once a year, and we're currently doing the interim audit at the moment for this financial year, which finishes today, the 30th of Jan. I may not be clear on what your question is. Shall we take it on notice?
We'll take it on
so
notice.
that I can get to the bottom of
That's
exactly
fine.
what you're asking.
Okay,
Maybe
I
that's...
thought that was quite clear, but anyway. So, Mayor, are you aware that according to the budget in attachment 1, page 121, we've got expenses and then employee costs and then materials and contracts. So just a bit of background. So when I finished as mayor, when you resigned and the council was dissolved, we had adopted a budget that changed the capital works and maintenance program from a historical 5 to 6 million a year to a 40 million plus a year program. Now, and that's been highlighted over the past couple of years in the budget. And in this budget, 21-22, we have a reduction of well over 100% materials and contracts going down to 20.9 million. So that's a 20 plus million reduction in that program. Are you aware that that is the case?
I'll take that on notice, can I?
How can you take it on notice? You are adopting a budget tonight that guides the administration for the next 12 months.
Correct.
So you're telling me you don't know?
I'll take it on notice.
Okay. Mayor, the question is, do you know that there is a significant reduction in the materials and contracts program to the town of Port Hedland of over $20 million a year? Are you aware of that, and are you going to adopt a budget knowing that you don't know that that is the case?
I'll take it on notice, can I? Thank you.
Okay. In relation to the budget and the significant reduction in the materials and contracts section of over 100%, are you aware, Mayor, that you are actually increasing the staff levels or the staff budget by over 2 million, I think it is, give or take, a couple of $100,000. But from 2019, 2019, when you resigned and the council was dissolved because of your resignation, our budget for staff, because we brought in the pools and rec centres and that, was 22 million. All right, it was around 22 million. Now we have got a budget for staff in this year of 29 million. So a couple of years later, we've increased it by $7 million. And we are reducing our materials and contracts by over 100%. Are you aware that we are increasing staff to that level in this budget?
Correct. Thank you.
Yes, okay.
Okay, your 5 minutes is up. Thank you.
Okay, I'll just have one more question.
Kamala, your 5 minutes is up. Thank you. Please sit down. Thank you.
Actually, no. So, Mayor, the Act...
5 minutes is up.
The Act says the
5 minutes is
question time minimum is 15 minutes. So
5 minutes is
unless
up.
there is anybody else in the gallery that has a question, I can continue. Does anybody here have another question? So, Mayor, the Act is quite clear in the minimum time period required in question time, which is 15 minutes. So I'm happy to sit down, but I will be putting a complaint forward, asking the department to reprimand the Mayor because you're clearly going against the Act.
Thank you,
Would you like to
Please sit
take
down.
some advice on that?
Please sit down. Thank you.
Would
You
you
have
like
your 5
to take
minutes.
some advice?
No, thank you. Please sit down. Thank you.
Okay.
Just to clarify a little bit more, we'll take it on notice and an explanation of the 20-odd million will be in relation to the money that's to be paid out to the marina project, and it's the way that the accounting has to happen, that it's if the money is there and kept in reserve, but the way that we have to actually record it, it has to come out through the operating. So that's why there looks to be a very large discrepancy when you look against this financial year.
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you. Do you have any more public questions at all? Okay, I will close public question time at 5:48 p.m. 6.2, public statement times. Do you have any public statements? Yes, Bill, please come forward. State your name and address, please.
My name is Bill Johnbuck, resident of Unit 627 Kingsmill Street, long-term resident, ratepayer of Port Hedland, over 30 years and former councillor. My statement relates to item 11.4.3, Sutherland Street Shared Path Extension. Firstly, I'd like to thank the town of Port Hedland for the recent consultation sessions, although unfortunately we did not have the opportunity for an open public forum. I would like to thank councillors Q Ming, Tim Turner and Elmer Zelke, also senior town of Port Hedland officers Ryan Pickup and Aaron Smith, and senior coastal engineer Clint Doak from consultants MP Rogers for taking the time to walk the current proposed path location with me along the Kingsmill Street foreshore to better understand the physical and environmental challenges it presents. Subsequently, in a letter to the town of Port Hedland, 1st of June 2021, I listed some of the main concerns we discussed about the proposed path location, which are: 1. Safety. The dunes drop down steeply by several metres in some sections. 2. Privacy. Some sections look directly into people's living rooms. 3. Security, especially at weekends, late into the evening. I don't think I need to elaborate. 4. Engineering. The top of the sand dunes are unstable. You can see subsidence and weather erosion all along the proposed location. 5, culture and heritage. Respectfully, it is not my place to state some of the issues which I understand are still outstanding. 6, environment. The dunes provide a habitat for many species of wildlife, bird life. Goannas and snakes nest along the top of the sand dunes. We even saw on the walk a kangaroo jump past. 7, cost and maintenance. After the first serious cyclone, what will the cost be for the repairs which will be imminent? Finally, 8, legality. A significant insurance policy will need to be put in place due to the risks of the unfamiliar terrain. Finally, let's build the world-class marina first, giving us more time to investigate all these significant issues I have just mentioned, which we don't believe as a community have been fully addressed at this stage. Then, at that time, we can build the connection between the completed marina and upgraded West End to the same quality, which would attract tourism and give Headland community something to be proud of for years to come. Your Town of Port Hedland Charter says, we are proud to be delivering the town's needs, embracing community, culture and environment. Councillors, please consider these words when voting on this item tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tomac. Thank you. Do we have any more public statements at all? Yes, Camilla Blanco.
Camilla Blanco, 18 Hull Way, Wedgefield. Last year, the town put media statements out suggesting that our budget was, our capital works and maintenance program or materials and contracts was between 77 and 79 million. The 2021 interim actuals that you refer to here state that 39 million 500,000 has been spent. There are, councillors, you should know this. Remember, this is your budget and you're going to adopt it tonight, okay? So if you're not across this stuff, you really should not be adopting a budget that you'd have got no idea about, okay? So, so last year, 77, 79 million. Here you've said you've spent, nearly 40 million. That's a 35 million plus reduction that, you haven't spent. I hear that there are, or that the budget is actually talking about, a significant capital works and maintenance, program this year as well. But, again, my issue comes down to the budget item, line item here, materials and contracts only being 20,900,000 when the previous years have been over the 40 million mark. So effectively, when you look at the budget, simply just by that front page, okay, we're reducing our program by over 100%. We're increasing our staff, from the 2019 period, our staff budget by, $7 million by, since 2019. We're reducing our program, by over 100%. We're increasing our rates by 2%. Okay, so effectively what you're saying to the ratepayers of Port Hedland is that you're going to get a rate increase and you're going to get a significant reduction in a capital works and maintenance program that's been in place for the last couple of years. Now, in reference to the director's comment about, the marina project reflecting the reduction in that materials and contract, you've got to remember that the $24 million has been sitting in our account for a long, long time, okay? and that money comes directly out of our reserves. It doesn't come out of this item here, which is, you know, a revenue developed by 2021, which is, according to this, 75.5 million, and then the expenses related to what is going on over the next 12 months. That's what you're adopting there, okay? And you've got to think about, you know, what you're actually doing. You're reducing the program significantly. You're increasing staff. You're increasing rates. This is not and was not the intent of changing the whole financial system. This is the very reason I actually got involved in council, because this is the sort of stuff that was going on with the previous CEO, Mel Osborne, where, you know, we were announcing 90 million a budget, okay, but at the end of the year, nothing was happening. You know, we weren't actually getting $90 million spent on the town. So we reverted back to real figures, where we would spend, you know, we know what our income was, we know what our reserve accounts are, and we would spend that in the year and not hoodwink our ratepayers. We'll say, this is what we're going to do, we're going to finish it, we're going to finish that budget by 95%, okay, and then start again. That's clearly not happening here. We're reverting back to what we used to do years ago. And everybody knows, the people that have lived in this town for many years like me, know that we can tell the advances when we compare Port Hedland with Karratha, okay? And you compare the amount of staff that they got, the amount of staff that we've got, you know, the costs associated. It's a good comparison. You can do that, all right? It's quite easy. And then you've got to ask the questions of the administration. That's what the budget process was about. You've got to ask those questions. You've got to make sure that we're getting value for money in our, you know, this year 2% increase, all right? So what are we doing? We're generating, you know, nearly $55 million in rates. When I came on, we had 18 million, all right?
Thank you, Kamala. Your 5 minutes is up. Thank you. Kamala, thank you. Thank you.
Can I request another 5 minutes?
No, sorry. Thank you. Please sit down. Thank you. Thank you. Please sit down. Please sit down. Thank you.
Can you
Please sit
explain
down.
why I don't
Please-
get another 5 minutes?
Please sit down. Please sit down. Thank you.
No. Can you?
Please sit down. Please sit down.
Councillors,
Kamala?
listen to what I'm saying. You should be able to understand it by the figures presented to you in the
Kamala,
budget.
please sit down.
This is very
Kamala?
serious stuff.
Kamala, please sit
Millions
down.
and millions of dollars
Kamala,
reduced. It's not on.
do you have any more public questions at all? Statements? Okay. Being there no more statements, I will close statement. Close at 5:58 p.m. Thank you. (6.3) Statements, deputations, submissions. There are none. Item 7. Questions from members without public. Are there any questions from elected members? Yes,
Yes,
Councillor.
my name is Lewis Cuming, Councillor Cuming. I have a question to do with the youth, and it's a notice to motion of Councillor Turner. Could you please explain and inform me of the results of the presentation of your youth strategy discussed at an ordinary council meeting on the 24th of March, item 5.3, as it appears that it's a duplication of another one. I'd also like to ask the council to consider a promotion of forming a youth council, as I have discussed it with Roban Youth Council and Karratha and the police of Roban. They thought it was a good idea to have a youth input into the trouble we have with all the areas in town. So I do hope that we can get to a stage where we could form a youth council, a teenage council, because they are the people that are upcoming presiding people that are going to be in this town. I think it'd be good to get the input from them. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Councillor. Thank you. Any more questions at all, councillors?
For the Chair.
Yes, Councillor Gillingham.
Yeah, thank you. I'd just like to ask, regarding the airport, and I know we've possibly been down this track before, but there's a smoking booth at the airport. And when I was there on Friday, I actually took particular notice that nobody was in the booth, but they were sitting on all the seating on the brick wall, and also I think there was lots of butts, cigarette butts. And look, I'm an ex-smoker, I'm a non-smoker from many years ago. But the actual smoke that was coming across to where I got in my car at School of the Air, and it is a school, and it was just a little bit too much. So I'm just wondering, we really do, I feel, need to look into this. Please, could we look into it? Because even people bringing their cars in, dropping people off at the drop-off, through the Chair, the people actually being subjected within 20 metres of the smoking booth or the smokers. And also, I know that the 20 metres is just outside for the School of the Air border, but we have another business right next door, which is Polar Aviation. They're directly across from that. So that's something which I would like us to please look into, because it's not a good look. And at the moment, there was, well, yesterday, there was actually just milk crates where people were sitting on milk crates. I don't think at an international airport, which just been done up, is just not really on. So could we please look into that and ask the airport personnel what's actually happening there? And I don't know whether they can move it somewhere else, the smoking booth. Thank you, that's one question. And another thing to do with the airport, I actually went there several days ago to drop off a passenger, went inside. I had my mask on. Not many people had masks on inside there. And people asking at the Qantas desk saying, could I have a mask? They were directed to the security. And the security said, well, it's not up to us to issue masks. You need to see your airline people. So it's a bit of a catch-22 through the Chair there, Mr. Mayor. So I'd just like to ask whose responsibility is when you walk in the airport? Is it your own responsibility to have a mask? If you don't have a mask because you don't have access to one, you go into the airport, and at the moment we've had COVID outbreaks. We don't know what's going to happen over the next couple of days. So I just think we need to get on top of this. And I know that some people weren't allowed to fly out to Perth. They're retained in Port Hedland, and they want to go home to their families, blah, blah, blah. So I'd just like to know what's going on, because I know that the masks are available when you walk through the door to go on your plane, and you pick up from there. But it's walking into the airport. It's getting out of your car. It's going past people. And I just think that we really need to be safe. So please, can we look into that and find out what is going on with masks? And my last question is, just listening to our public about the finances. I have been going through the finances, Mayor, and I have been concerned about some of the finances, and that's what I was going to talk about tonight at the item. But my question would be, through the Chair, to our finance, Karen, if I may, Karen. I cannot understand, I can't get my head around the $20 million that's going to the marina. I don't think I've had this discussed to me. I've missed it somewhere along the line. So there are some issues that I'm quite concerned about adopting a budget tonight if there are questions taken on notice and we're at the time where we're supposed to be voting on a budget. So I'm really concerned. So I'd like to ask through the Chair, what does it actually mean about the $20 million? Because I know I've read before about the $40 million that was in the capital works, and now if we're reducing that, then that's a bit of a concern, because it'll come back on our ratepayers. So thank you, Mr. Mayor, and that was my 3 questions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Gillingham. CEO, or Karen, answer that last question?
I think, Mr. Mayor, the first 2 questions, happy to take on notice, Councillor. I think the third question in terms of the marina item, happy to discuss it either now or when we get to the item itself. The short summary is The $24 million that goes to the marina is, our auditors have indicated it has to be classed as an operational cost, not a capital cost. It will transfer to Department of Treasury as soon as we get that invoice processed from them. But that appears as a separate, the former mayor is right, it sits in a separate reserve. It will transfer to the Treasury, to the Pilbara Ports Authority. It is separate from the public works activity that we will take place, and that is well in excess of $20 million that was quoted. That's an incorrect figure. The number is significantly higher than that in terms of proposed capital works this year. As councillors know from previous briefings, it's probably closer to 70.
Okay, Councillor Godham.
Yes, I'd like to ask a question here on the, this is to do with the caravans that are coming into town at the racecourse. I believe we don't pay, but they don't pay anything. There is a little bit of disturbance of people doing the naughty things, which people do only normally when they're drunk. But I'd suggest that instead of giving it to them for nothing, ratepayers have to pay a lot of things, water and all that sort of stuff. I think it's about time we put a little small amount on it. It's $20 for a few days, and then I think it could go back into the community, perhaps into a youth presentation, which would be pretty visible to it. Also, I'd like to ask you the question of the contractors that are doing the JD Centre, also the skate park. Several times I've been there having a look, you know, just to see who's working and who's not just sort of spying, but it's very hard to find workers there. Several times I've seen one worker at a skate park, and I believe we're paying a lot of money for it. Where are the workers? And at the JD Centre as well. The workers seem very not available. There's no one there, only a couple. So to get a job done, my point there is that on the council building at Wedgefield, I've been past there several times, there's a lot of workers there, but I believe it's the same company that's doing the jobs at the skate park and also the JD Centre.
Thank you, Councillor. We'll take that on notice. Thank you. Okay. Do you have any more questions at all from councillors? No, thank you. Item number 8. Presiding members' meeting for the month of May 2021 can be found detailed in the agenda. Item 9. Declaration from all members who have given due consideration to matters contained in the business paper before them, before the meeting. I invite all elected members to declare by a show of hands that they have given due consideration to all matters contained within the agenda. I have a show of hands, please, Councillor. Councillor Cumming. Okay, thank you, councillors. Item 10, confirmation of minutes of a previous meeting. Members of the public are reminded not to take any action on council's decision on items on this evening's agenda in which they may have an interest until formally notified in writing by the town has been received. Decisions made at the meeting can be revoked in line with Local Government Act 1995. We have an officer's recommendation before us for the minutes of the ordinary council meeting held on Thursday, the 3rd of June 2021, a true and a correct record. Can I have a mover, please?
So moved.
Thank you, Councillor McDonough. Let's have a seconder.
I'll second.
Thank you, Councillor Bartho. Is anyone against the motion? Okay, as the motion is not opposed, I declare it carried 8-0. Okay, before we move on to item 11.1.1, given the high level of interest on this issue, I move that Council consider item 11.4.3 Southern Street Shared Footpath as the next item of business. Can I have a seconder, please? Thank you, Councillor. Is anyone? Oh, I moved it. Seconder. Yeah, Councillor Zucchi, yeah. Is anyone against the motion? Okay. Motion's not opposed. I'll carry it 8-0. Yeah. Okay. 11.4.3 Sutherland Street Shared Extension, Path Extension. We have an officer's recommendation before us that council note the consultation has been given on the Sutherland Street Shared Footpath Extension, and note that council provides Sutherland Street Shared Pathway Extension proposed alignment as per attachment 1, and that council proceeds with construction of the path. May I have a mover, please?
A point of clarification, please.
Yes,
through the
Councillor
chair.
Gillingham.
I see their officers' recommendations with the simple majority, but just going down to the end of the item, sorry, I just lost I thought I had the page number down here, where it has the other options. It says options, I think it's page 64, where it says the options to adopt officer's recommendation, amend officer's recommendation. Then option 3 says do not adopt officer's recommendation, council may choose to do nothing. So I just wanted to explain, I know you've got the 3 points in the item, but I just found that was, to me it felt a little bit odd, so I just wanted that to be just clarified. Thank you.
Yes, councillor, I guess the explanation is that it's open to council not to approve a motion that's recommended by officers, and simply by doing so the path will not proceed and the report will not be represented for a period of 3 months to council.
Okay. Thank you, Councillor Gillingham.
Thank you.
Okay, can I have a mover, please?
I'd like to move to to amend the officer's recommendation to the option 2. Thank you.
Okay. Give me a second for that. Yeah, can we have a second for that? No, motion's lost. It's lapsed, yeah.
Just through the chair, I just think that
Can I have
Councillor Ming didn't quite hear that. Thank you.
Say again, Councillor?
I don't think Councillor Ming heard that to understand what was said, so he was just asking me a question through the chair. Whether it could be repeated, please.
Can we call a seconder for your motion? Okay. Do you wish to second the motion?
The officer's motion on page 64, option 2, to change the officer's recommendation to read as option 2. My microphone wasn't working.
Okay, is there a seconder for that? Okay, anyone against? Councillor McDonald is against. Okay, Councillor Gillingham.
Yes, thank you. I think there should be more consultation going ahead, especially with the marina coming along. I think this is an opportunity that if we're going to have a world-class marina, then I guess that we have time to wait and have a world-class shared pathway. And perhaps it might take a few years to come forward. I know it's the meaning that we would lose $700,000, which is funding. But I just feel as if the public have come back time and time again, and there obviously is concerns that the pathway has got time to wait, and that we can move ahead once the marina, and who knows, possibly Port Hedland Port Authority or the Port Authority Association may even be part of that. So because I just think this is an entry statement when shipping is coming into our port, and it is a great area to be able to view that. So the amount that we're spending on it, I know it was going to be a great deal of amount in the past, and there are fors and against the type of pathways. looks very good in the pictures, but I just don't want to hope that we're not shortchanging ourselves. I really hope that we're not sort of just having something for the sake of having something at this point in time, and that we've waited all this long, all these years. I've been here 35 years. I've walked that area many times. I do think that with the thoughts that have come from the public as well, thank you for the consultations that they have attended, but not 100% of people did attend those, and I know that a lot of people on the area where they live are just rentals, not all people who, they're not occupied as owner-occupied. So that's probably my reasoning, it's just my thoughts, is that, you know, we've waited all this long, we've got this fantastic marina coming up, and could we visit this a little bit further down the track? Yeah, thank you, everybody.
Okay. Thank you, Councillor Cunningham. Councillor Cumming?
Yes, I'll go with that because I'd like to see a little bit more from the Indigenous side, the environmental. I mean, they do know quite a lot about the land. I'd like to see the actual talk about this. I'd like to see the Aboriginal people up here, the Indigenous people, talking back to us of what they think of the whole idea. That's my opinion. And it can be taken as notice. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Cumming. Councillor McDonald?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Yeah, look, in relation to deferring the item yet again, we've had consultation after consultation on this project. We've had online surveys, we've had face-to-face meetings with the affected residents and that sort of thing. The vast majority of the Port Hedland ratepayers want us to get along and go ahead with this project. Even you know, as per the survey respondents, only 54.5% of the landowners in that area were opposed to it. So only just over half of them, and that I think the ones that represents a number of about 11. Whereas I've spoken to many community members in relation to it, and no one can understand why we don't have access to that area anyway. The footpath should go along there, and then we look at stage 2 of the project, you know, with the nodes and that sort of thing they're talking about putting in there with the shade structures and that sort of stuff. I believe it would become a real standout sort of feature that the ships and that sort of stuff would notice. Yeah, but the pictures of the plan as it stands, I think, and the design of it, it's a really good step for stage 1, and we've got that $700,000 of federal money there that we will lose if we defer it yet again.
Okay. Thank you, Councillor McDonald. Speakers for? Okay, speakers against? Councillor Cunningham? Those is anyone else speak against it?
Yeah, I'll speak against it. No.
You can't. No. That's right. Okay. Okay, Councillor Cunningham, yes. Yep.
Thank you. Oh, yeah. Thank you, through the chair. Thank you, Councillor Dono, for your points there. And look, I'm not against the shared pathway. I think this is something, it is land that can be used. At the moment, I think the land is being abused because of people living there and probably walking down and people having people going past their back doors anyway. A lot of people use that as a thoroughfare anyway, I know. So I'm not against having a shared pathway. I am looking at the item, and we've had time to look at the item, and I'd like to also thank the staff for all their help and assistance and advice and the presentations, because the presentations have been excellent. Still feel as if we're having this marina, I guess if we weren't having the marina, maybe that would be a different story. Maybe that would be a little bit of a different story. It's something that I just think that we were going to have a new Butte boardway. We know that that's not possible because of the rising tides and everything like that. I am concerned about the environment, and thank you for that to be brought up this evening. And yes, there are much flora and fauna down there that needs to be protected. So I'm not, as I said, I'm not against the pathway. I just think at this point in time that we have lots of other things that could be done in the meantime, and we will just go ahead and wait for the marina to start, which I guess it's all happening now anyway. So thank you for the time to speak through the chair. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Gillingham. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Okay. Okay. But Councillor Gillingham. Okay. So those who want to speak against them. That's it. It's done. It's closed. Put it to a vote. Yeah, okay. Okay, so we'll now put the motion to a vote. All the
Councillors, option 2 is now on the board in front of you, just for your benefit, so you know what you're voting on.
Okay, the council defer the matter until the marina has been constructed and representatives the project. Can I have a show of hands, please? Okay, 2. All those against? 2, 6. Okay, motion is lost. Thank you, Councillor Gillingham. Okay, I now move for officer's recommendation. Mover, please. Councillor Zulke, thank you. Can I have a second, please? Councillor Turner, thank you. Okay. Anyone against? Councillor Gillingham, Councillor Kuming. Councillor Zulke, you wish to speak against the motion?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just agree with Councillor McDonald. We've been over this repeatedly, and I think that postponing this anymore will just create more stress for the residents and take up more of our time and that of the townspeople. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Zulke.
If I may as well.
Councillor Turner.
Yes, thank you. Look, I'd also like to reiterate my support for the motion. There has been significant consultation. This project has been identified over several years. The proposal that is put forward is both cost effective and will enhance the amenity of the town. It's in line with our strategic plans. So this decision is not taken lightly, and we are acutely aware of the environmental impacts, and we have concerns for that. And through the process, I would expect the council to be managing all of that and more moving forward. So I certainly endorse this decision and support this development going forward.
Thank you, Councillor Turner. Councillor Gillingham.
Thank you. Yes, I just reiterating what I've said before, I'm not against the shared pathway. I just felt at this time when we have a lot of people in the audience, there obviously still have a lot of concerns, and that does concern me as my own personal feeling. So I guess as a councillor, we get to be able to speak on our own personal feelings, and I do take in everybody else's point. And again, I'd like to say that the staff have done a great job in presenting this to us, and you know, I just think that we could possibly do this better, perhaps a little bit further down the track. So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Gillingham. Those like to speak for? Councillor Bartho?
Yes, if I may, I'd like to echo comments made by Councillor McDonough, Turner and Zilke. Consultation has been quite comprehensive. The presentations that we've had indicate that regardless of whether when the marina is finished, the construction of the path will be very similar. So I think that going ahead with it now after all these years is a good way to be going. And the fact that the majority of the community who have been consulted would like to see the pathway happen so that they can all enjoy the foreshore sooner rather than later, and look at protecting the dunes sooner than later as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Bartho. Any more for or against? Any more for? No, thank you. Thank you. Councillor Zuki, like to close, please?
Thank you, Mayor. As has been said previously, I agree with most of those points. As for security, it's no different to any other house in the rest of Headland. Having a footpath out front of your house does not mean that you're suddenly going to be inundated with burglars galore. They're not waiting for Kingsmore Street development so that they can go and rob a house. It's not a popular decision. It was an easy decision. It was not an easy decision. But it's time that we put this to bed, I believe. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Zuki. So those all for the motion? Okay, those against? Okay, motion is carried, thank you. Okay, let me know now back to the original part of the agenda, which is item 11, reports from officers. 11.1, corporate services. 11.1.1, financial statement of financial activity for a period ending 30 May 2021. We have an officer's recommendation that council pursuant to the section 6.4 of the Local Government Act 1995 receives a statement of financial activity and the material variance report, credit card statement and notes the accounts paid under delegated authority, all for the period ending 31st of May 2021. Can I have a mover, please?
So moved.
Moved, thank you, Councillor McDonough. I have a seconder, please.
Seconded.
Seconded, Councillor Bartho, thank you. Anyone against the motion? Any questions? The motion is not opposed. I declare the motion carried 8-0. Item 11.1.2, adoption of the 2021-22 annual budget and rating strategy. We have an officer's recommendation that is broken up into various parts, A through to H. The first recommendation, part A, general minimum rates, is that council impose a differential general rates and minimum payments for the gross rental unapproved value for the 2021-22 financial year as listed in the agenda, and endorses the 2021-22 statement objects for reasons as per statement attachment 2. This requires an absolute majority. Can I have a mover, please?
So moved.
Move, thank you, Councillor McDonough. Can I have a seconder, please?
Yep, seconded.
Thank you, Councillor Bartho, thank you. Any against the motion? Any questions? As the motion is not opposed, I declare it carried 8-0. Part B of the officer's recommendation regarding concessions and incentives, that council grants concessions in relation to 2021/22 rates charges listed as the attached schedule attached 1, note 1H, and that council grants fees and waivers as defined in the relation to the 2021-22 fees and charges scheduled in accordance with the West Australian Companion Card Program as described in the attachment schedule attached 1, note 20. This requires absolute majority. May I have a mover, please?
So moved.
Councillor Zuki, thank you, Councillor. May I have a seconder?
I'll second it.
Seconder, Councillor McDonough, thank you. Is there any against the motion? Are there any questions? As the motion is not opposed, I declare it carried 8-0. Part C, regarding instalment payments arrangements, recommends that council nominates and due dates as listed in the agenda for the payments rates in full by instalment, that council adopts the initial instalment administration charge of $0 and instalment charge of $14 for each instalment after the initial instalment is paid, excluding eligible pensioners and seniors, where the owner has elected to pay the rates and services charges through an instalment option, and that council adopts an interest rate of 5.5% per annum, where the owner has elected to pay rates and services charges through instalment option, including eligible pensioners and seniors. Can I have a mover, please?
So moved.
Thank you, Councillor Gillingham. Can I have a seconder?
Seconded.
Councillor Zulke, thank you. Are there any against the motion?
No, Mayor, I'd probably just like to make comment. This is something I have spoken to the administration about a few times over the years, and it's really great to see this introduced now. It used to be via an application process, which was a little bit convoluted, and certainly probably took up a lot more than the $42 in value that we're now charging for people to elect to do the instalments. So I think it's great to be able to spread that burden across 4 payments for our residents. I think it's a really good move.
It's great. Thank you, Councillor McDonald. Are there any questions? Thank you, Councillor. As the motion is not opposed, I declare it carried 8-0. Part D of the officer's recommendation regarding interest on overdue amounts recommends that council adopts an interest rate of 7% per annum for rates and service charges and on the cost of proceedings to recover such charges that remain unpaid longer than 35 days after the due date, excluding eligible pensioners and seniors, and adopts an interest rate of 7% per annum on all sundries debit charges that remains unpaid longer than 35 days after the due date. This requires an absolute majority vote. Can I have a mover, please?
So moved.
Move, Councillor McDonough, thank you. Can I have a seconder, please?
Yes, I'll second.
Thank you, Councillor Bartho. Is anyone against the motion? Are there any questions? As the motion is not opposed, I declare it carried 8-0. Part E, other statutory fees for 2021-22, and recommends that Council notes the adoption by Council of the 2021-22 Skis and Fees and Charges MC 202021-167, including amendments and additional as per note 20 of the attachment 1. This requires an absolute majority vote. May I have a mover, please?
So moved.
Move, Councillor Bartho, thank you. May I have a seconder, please? Councillor Zulke, thank you. Is there anything against the motion? Yes, Councillor Gillingham.
Yes, thank you. Through the chair, I would like to actually find out whether the fees and charges which are for not-for-profit organisations, community groups, is looked into more. So some of the fees, there are organisations that cannot actually afford some of the community charges, so because they don't have buildings, etc., they have to hire venues and that. So that's just something I'm concerned about. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Gillingham. Okay, are there any other questions? Okay. As the motion is not opposed, I declare it carried.
I wasn't sure. Councillor Gillingham, were you
Opposing?
opposed or were you seeking a...
Yeah, I just wanted to have a bit of a debate over it, if I may.
You want to debate
if
it?
that's possible, just because I just want everybody the council to be aware that not-for-profit organisations are finding it really tough, and just that's something which I'd like council to look into even more. Thank you.
Okay, we'll go to debate. Thank you, Councillor Gillingham. Okay, Councillor Barthou. Speak to the item.
I believe that the fees and charges are fair. There have been very little, if any, increases, and whilst I appreciate that some of the non-for-profit organisations might struggle a little bit, I still believe that the fees and charges are fair, and I'm happy to support them. Having and being involved with a non-for-profit community organisation myself, I think that I can speak with some sort of empathy, I suppose, to your plight. I'll leave it at that.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Barthou. Councillor Zilke.
Thank you, Mayor. At this stage, I have no further things to add.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Gillingham.
Yeah, thank you, through the chair. What I'm actually looking for us to look into, we may not be able to do this at this point in time, but is that often small not-for-profit organisations may go for a small amount of funding, grant funding from the town of Port Hedland, and it's very welcomed at the cost of a grant of about $3,000. And then they go to hire a venue, and most of that amount of money is actually spent on paying for the venue. So perhaps a way out of this is something to please take, perhaps council can take on board, is that when getting a grant, if a venue can be made free of charge or much, much less, then that means that the organisation has a little bit more to use to actually put their function on, should I say. There are many not-for-profit organisations in Port and South Hedland and surrounding areas, and this is something which I think that we could be seen as being user-friendly to these organisations and encourage them to still stay as an organisation. I know that some organisations have very little rental when they might have a peppercorn rent, or their lease may be renewed and it may be at a very, very low charge. That means that they can have a function at that venue, which is probably a council venue, and then they don't have to actually use another venue to have a function. But when you don't have your own building to have club rooms, then you're actually paying elsewhere, and other club rooms will charge fees as well, but often they'll give it in kind. So I guess I'm looking for an in-kind feeling, a little bit more from our council. And yes, some of the fees have gone down. Some of them have gone up a little bit for people, commercial people, and that they can afford that. But it's just looking to give the non-for-profit organisations a little bit of a heads up, and perhaps we should meet with these organisations, just see, how we can actually help them even more. So it's not that I'm against the item, it's just that I want us to look more into the future, possibly. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Councillor.
Through the chair, could I make comment? I'm still in debate.
You want to speak for it?
Okay.
Thank you, Councillor Gillingham. Councillor Fore.
Look, I'm certainly for the current recommended fees and charges, but I certainly acknowledge everything that you have said, Councillor Gillingham. And I think as a council, we should have that conversation and engagement with the not-for-profit and for our local community groups. I am aware, certainly in the past, that some of the higher fees have been quite prohibitive, and the associated insurance costs. So let's have that conversation moving forward, and work with our community development team to ensure that we are investing in the community and making those opportunities available.
Okay. Thank you, Councillor Turner. Anyone else against?
That to what Mr Turner said there, as you know, I run a gym as well, and non-profitable, and yet the council, and this is going back, also BHP, FMG, have refused to help me, and also the port, because it's pugilistic. So I think it's about time we forget about what's pugilistic and what we're trying to teach and bring into the community. I think we should go the right way, think about the right words to use when people ask you for something.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Cumming. You on 4?
Oh, yes, Mayor, I'll speak for it. Yeah, Councillor Gillingham, I do take your points on board there. However, we are talking about not-for-profit organisations, not charities. So not-for-profit means that, you know, these organisations are supposed to charge their members some joining fees, those sorts of things. They can also fundraise, they can apply for grants, as stated earlier, to the council. Also, by way of delegated authority, the CEO and relevant directors can waive the fees if it's of a community benefit, if they so see it to be that way. We've had a significant reduction in a lot of these charges over the last few years, where they were extremely cost prohibitive for some of the not-for-profit organisations. So I believe that they're actually now sitting at a fair point, and I'm happy to go for the motion as it's put.
Okay, thank you, Councillor McDonough. Anyone against still? On 4? Councillor Bartho, want to finish off and close up?
Just in conclusion, I'd like to note that we've actually adopted this schedule of fees previously, not a lot that we can do about it at this point. We're just noting the adoption of the fees. However, I concur that it might be something that could be discussed in the future, and I also do agree very strongly with Councillor McDonough in that a lot of the non-for-profits, myself being involved in one as well, do charge members fees, seek sponsorship grants that can assist with this. And if there is a delegation of authority to provide waivers where the circumstances are appropriate to do so, then that's also available. So in conclusion, I still support the motion.
Okay. Thank you, Councillor Bartho. We'll now put the motion to the vote. All those in favour, please raise your hands. Motion is carried 8-0. Okay, Part F of the Office of Recommendation regarding eligible members' fees and allowances for 2021/22 recommends that Council adopts the annual fees and payments for elected members in lieu of individual meetings attendance fees as listed in the agenda. Adopts the annual allowances for elected members as listed in the agenda. Adopts the annual local government allowance as listed in the agenda for the Mayor to be paid in addition to the annual meeting allowance. And finally, adopts the annual local government allowance as listed in the agenda for the Deputy Mayor to be paid in addition to the annual meeting allowance. This requires absolute majority. May I have a mover, please?
So moved.
Moved. Thank you, Councillor McDonough. May I have a seconder, please?
Seconded.
Thank you, Councillor Bartho. Is anyone against the motion? Any questions? As the motion is not opposed, I declare the motion carried without debate. Part G relates to material variance reporting for the 2021-22 and recommends that Council adopts the variance of 10% or 50,000, which is greater of the year to the date budget operating and capital expenditure requires explanation. Can I have a mover, please?
So moved.
Thank you, Councillor McDonough. May I have a seconder, please?
You may
Thank you,
second.
Councillor Zuki, thank you. Is anyone against the motion? Any questions?
Yes, if I may, through the chair, would you be able to explain this, or could our chairperson of the finance committee perhaps explain, if need be, or our finance department just explain exactly what that means? The expenditure requires an explanation.
Sure.
Thank you.
Director of Corporate can explain that for us.
If there's actually a variance of over 50,000, whichever is the greater out of 50,000 or 10%, then the variance report actually comes up each month to council. So there is one that comes up currently. So it just actually sets the rules that we have to report it through to council so that you can see the details of it.
Is it okay, Councillor Gillingham?
I'm still a little bit confused, but that's something that I guess I'll learn more about.
Okay, thank you.
Through the chair, if I may, it's the difference between what we actually do spend compared to the budget. So if there's a major variance, then it's actually shown in more detail for you, so as that you're aware of it and you've got the reasons for it.
Okay, thank you. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Gillingham. Anyone else against? No. Motion's carried, 8-0. Okay, the final part of the recommendation, Part H.
Sorry, Mayor, just a point of clarification or a question or something. It's just got a spelling mistake there in the title.
Oh, well picked
Just
up,
put a G
Councillor.
in there, please.
The final part of the recommendation, Part H, the Multiplicity budget for the 2021-22 recommendations that Council adopts the middle of the 2021-22 budget as presented in Attachment 1, including associated notes and summary information in accordance with Section 6.2 of the Local Government Act 1995 and Part 3 of the Local Government Financial Management Regulation 1996. This requires absolute majority. Can I have a mover, please?
So moved.
Move, Councillor McDonough, thank you. Can I have a seconder, please? Councillor Zulke, thank you. Anyone against the motion? Councillor Gillingham? Just against the motion. Okay, thank you. Okay, Councillor McDonough, I'd like to speak for the motion.
Yes, thank you. Just in relation to Part H, the municipal budget for 2021-22, we've had several presentations from the relevant directors and officers in relation to this. I feel that it's been very well presented. There's been many questions asked by the elected members as we've gone through those processes. It's a good budget. There's obviously we've got some carry forward still just due to some projects that are ongoing and that sort of thing. So I think that's perhaps where there might be some confusion as far as what's spent and what, etc. from the last budget. Also, the majority of those invoices sort of seem to come in towards the end of financial year. So I think once we get all our reports and that sort of stuff for the next quarter, it'll look a hell of a lot tidier than what it does currently. And I'm extremely comfortable that we can move forward with it as put.
Great. Thank you, Councillor McDonough. Councillor Zulke, let's before the motion. Want to speak? Okay, thank you. Councillor Gillingham?
Yes, thank you, through the chair. I am concerned about what I spoke in my question time about the $40 million that regarding the capital works program, and if it's going to be reduced to 20-something million dollars, as it actually does say in the paperwork here, it's something that I really am concerned about because, you know, I know we do have a lot of money in the bank. We profess to have a lot of money in the bank, and that's great. But then to have extra staff, if we're putting extra staff on, and this is a great thing, but is it not going to compensate? Is it going to be a hindrance? We're losing this money for capital works. Our town's getting bigger. And I just think that, are we rushing the budget? Should we be sitting down and having a little bit more of a talk of this and getting it around our heads? Because I think we do need to sit down. When we did have our first initial budget meeting behind closed doors, there were very few of us councillors here who couldn't be here. And I know that they were given paperwork, everybody was given paperwork to catch up and that. But I just think that, you know, come October, we would have been in the position 12 months. I think we're sort of starting to get our head around everything. And there's been a few questions about finances. And look, I think our staff with finances are doing an amazing job presenting everything to us. I'm on the finance committee. I'm still finding that I guess I've missed looking at this more closely, and I would think that I would like to foreshadow a motion and also just say that I am concerned about the $40 million being reduced to just over $20 million in the capital works. So we've got lots to do in our town. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Gillingham. Okay. Councillor O'Donnell. Oh, sorry, anyone else for it? Sorry. Yes. Just to clarify, please. Yeah, thank you.
So just if I can clarify there, the 40 million is the OPEX figure for the materials and contracts, I think, that you're talking about, that's dropping down to around 20 million. That actually, this year's is inflated because of the 24 million that goes into Marina. I know it can be a little bit confusing because it's actually sitting in reserves, so the cash is there, but accounting standards and the auditors have insisted that we actually show it through the operating. So that's why that drops 20 million, because 20 million of this year's is actually the money that's going to the Marina. As for the capital budget, as at May, the amended budget for this financial year was 57 million spent. At the end of May, we'd spent 40 million, which leaves us with 17 million in June. In the new budget, the capital budget for next financial year of 77.7 million, we've actually taken into account 15 million carryover. There's no real inflation in there. A number of the projects that we are doing are crossing over financial years, so the figure in the budget is how much we will spend in that financial year, not the full project, which is 2 or 3 years, if that makes sense. Yeah. If that clarifies it all.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Director, for that. Thank you so much. Good. Anyone else for the motion? Anyone against?
It's current.
Current motion. Yeah. Yep. Councillor McDonald, let us start, please.
Yes, thank you, and I'll also thank you for that additional information from the Director of Corporate. Look, yeah, there's been some numbers thrown around tonight that were purposely thrown around to confuse people, I think, during the opening of the meeting. We've had several presentations on this. Not all councillors were present at all of those presentations, but all councillors have been present at least one of those presentations. There were some questions around this, I think it was back in early May, might have been late April, where we had a workshop on a Saturday morning, and that was very well attended by elected members, and I believe if any of us had any questions then, that's when they should have been asked, not now. If we weren't comfortable with what was put to us then we should have been asking questions then. If we don't adopt the budget now, at the end of the financial year, so the beginning of a new financial year, that means that we cannot commence doing any of these works until such time as we adopt the budget, and that puts even more pressure on the organisation to achieve what is planned to be spent within the next 12 months, if we've got at least another month until it's adopted, if we've got to have more presentations and consultations because people didn't understand and didn't ask questions. So I say that we go to it as put.
Okay, thank you, Councillor McDonough. We'll now put the motion to the vote. All those in favour, raise your hands. All those against? Motion is carried. Thank you.
Sorry, point of clarification, Mayor, it was absolute majority vote?
Yes, correct.
Yeah, so not carried. Oh,
It's carried.
Okay.
6-2. Yep. Okay. Okay. 11.1.3. Award of RFT 2021-022 Enterprise Resource Planning ERP Software SaaS. Councillors, item 11.1.3 is awarded of a tender. Do councillors wish to go behind closed doors? No? Okay, thank you. There is an officer's recommendation for council to accept the quote submitted in accordance with RF 2021022 ERP software as a service. Can we have a mover, please?
so moved.
Move. Thank you, Councillor McDonough. May I have a seconder?
Seconded.
Councillor Zucchi, thank you. Anyone against the motion? Any questions?
Yes, just want to ask through the chair, when will this actually start, if this was going through tonight, through the chair, Mr Mayor?
Yep, thanks, Karen.
Through the chair, probably shouldn't say it, we are actually very excited about this because the old system is at end of life. We're currently working through it. We're basically ready to go. As soon as this is approved, we'll be commencing the project. So, yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Director. Thank you, Councillor. Any other questions? All those in favour? Motion's carried 8-0.
Sorry, just need to put that up there for people to read, don't we?
Yes, we need to read out.
Okay, just,
Yes, so you can read out the result.
okay. Council has accepted the quote submitted by Technology One Proprietary Limited in accordance with RFT 2021-022 ERP software SaaS for the total estimated amount of $2,680,412, excluding GST. All the details will be published in the minutes. Okay, 11.2 Community Services. There are no reports for Community Services. 11.3 Regular Services. 11.3.1 Initial of a Local Planning Policy 07 Coastal Planning.
And through the chair, I'd just like to declare a proximity according to the map number 8 in the attachments. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Councillor Gillingham. Yes, would you leave the chamber? Thank you. We have a officer's recommendation that council initiates the draft local planning policy 07 coastal planning as presented in attachment 1 of this item with the purpose of a public consultation, and that council advertises draft local planning policy 07 coastal planning in accordance with the Planning and Development Local Planning Scheme Regulation 2015. Can we have a mover, please?
So moved.
Thank you, Councillor Zulke. Might I have a seconder, please? Thank you, Councillor Unkovic. Is anyone against the motion? Any questions? As the motion is not opposed, I declare the motion is carried 7-0. Would like to call Councillor Gillingham back in. Thank you, Councillor Gillingham. Item 11.3.1 was passed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 11.3.2, lease of proportion of reserve 307868. Sorry.
Yes, Mayor, I'd just like to close a financial interest in this one.
Yes, Councillor. Thank you. You should leave the room. Thank you.
And Mr Mayor...
Very nature of the interest is I'm employed by the entity applying for the lease.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Butler?
And yes, I'd like to declare an impartiality interest based on my association with the Port Hedland Game Fishing Club, as they hold a sublease on the building next door to the proposed lease buildings to the PPA.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Butler. Okay, we have an officer's recommendation that council authorises the Chief Executive Officer to negotiate and enter into a commercial lease agreement with the Pilbara Ports Authority for a portion of the reserve 30768 as dictated in attachment 1, commencing as soon as possible, practical, for the term which expires upon the completion of the Sportbank Marina and not exceeding 3 years. Can I have a mover, please? Oh, Councillor Gillingham, thank you. May I have a seconder, please? Councillor Turner, thank you. Is anyone against the motion? Any questions? As the motion is not opposed, I declare it carried 7-0. I'd like to let Councillor McDonald in, please. Thank you. 'Thank you, Councillor McDonough. Item 11.3.2 was passed. Thank you. 11.3.3, final adoption of local planning policy 12 variants to residence design codes. We have an officer's recommendation that council adopts the local planning policy 12 variants to residence design code as presented as attachment 1 of this item, that council advertises and adopts local planning policy 12 variants to residential design codes in accordance with the Planning and Development Local Planning Scheme Regulations 2015. May I have a mover, please?
So moved.
Moved, Councillor Zulke, thank you. May I have a seconder, please?
I'll second it.
Oh, thank you, Councillor McDonough. Is there any against the motion? Any questions? As the motion is not opposed, I declare it passed 8-0. (11.3.4) Initiation of a local planning policy LPP 11 stormwater management. We have an officer recommendation that council initiates local planning policy LPP 11 stormwater management as presented in the attachment 1 of this item for purpose of public consultation, and that council advertise local planning policy LPP 11 stormwater management. Can I have a mover, please? Mover, Councillor Ankovich, thank you. Mover, seconder.
Seconded.
Seconder, Councillor Bartho, thank you. Are there any against the motion? Are there any questions? As the motion is not opposed, I declare it's passed 8-0. (11.4) Infrastructure Services. 11.4.1 Lease Renewal Jabat Dance Company Incorporated. We have an officer recommendation that council authorises the Chief Executive Officer to negotiate and enter into a community lease agreement with Jabat Dance Company Incorporated over the portion reserve 34344 lot 3278 Tender Street, Port Hedland, for the initial term of 3 years with a further 12 months options. Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Unkovich, thank you, Councillor. We have a seconder, please.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Councillor Gillingham. Is there any against the motion? Are there any questions? So the motion is not opposed. I declare the motion is carried 8-0.
Sorry, point of clarification there, just on.
Yes.
It says Tinder Street, but that building is on Keysing Street, on the opposite side of the oval. Is that just to do with the way the planning is or something with the lot? It's just a bit confusing, that's all.
I'll just check with the directors on that.
Tinder Street runs along the back of the Colin Matheson Oval, and Keysing Street is obviously on the top side of it, and I'm confused.
It may be the lot number.
Through the chair, I believe it's the Andrew McLaughlin Centre in Keysing Street, is that correct? Because I do know that Jabat sometimes uses the Rovers. Sometimes they often use that building as well, but I believe it's the Andrew McLaughlin Centre on Keysing Street, which is like a gym, the old gym. I believe that's it. Is that correct, through the chair?
Okay, yes,
Yeah.
that's it. Yeah, thank you, Councillor Gillingham. We'll make a note of that. Thank you. Okay, 11.4.2 Lease Renewal Cook Point Playgroup. We have an officer's recommendation that council authorises the Chief Executive Officer to negotiate a community lease agreement with the Cook Point Playgroup Incorporated over a portion of reserve 34344 lot 3278 Kensington. We'll change it to Kingston Street. Okay, thank you. Port Hedland for initial term of 3 years with a further 12 months options. Can I have a mover, please? Thank you, Councillor Gillingham. Thank you.
So moved.
I'll second it then.
Okay, thank you, Councillor McDonough. Is anyone against the motion? Any questions? So the motion is not opposed. I declare the motion is carried 8-0. Yeah.
So, Mr Mayor, maybe just as a point of clarification, it would appear that technically it is Tinder Street, and that relates to the design and layout of the lot, which includes the reserve, and therefore the access is on Tinder Street, as opposed to, even though the access is off Keysing Street. So, in a technical sense, Tinder Street is correct.
Okay, thank you, CEO. Okay, 11.4.4, award of tender RFT 2021-01, maintaining support for extensions of the Central Irrigation Control Management System. Councillors, 11.4.4 is award of a tender. Do councillors wish to discuss the matter behind closed doors? No. Thank you. There is offer's recommendation that council accept the tender submitted for the tender 202101 to maintain, support the expansion of the Central Irrigation Control Management System for a period of 5 years, commencing the 1st of July 2021, in accordance with the points as listed in the agenda, that council authorises the Chief Executive Officer to sign and form of contract appointing this tender as a contractor for the tender 2021-1, together with any variance amendments for the discharge, therefore, that council authorises the Chief Executive Officer to approve or reject all contract extensions options for this tender. May I have a mover, please?
So moved.
Move. Councillor Zilke, thank you. Seconder.
I'll second it then.
Councillor Donna, thank you. Is anyone against this motion? Are there any questions? As the motion is not closed, I declare the motion is carried 8-0. That council accepts the tender submitted by. The council accepts the tender submitted by Industrial Automation Group, with all the details will be published in the council's minutes. Item 11.5, Executive Services. 11.5.1, Walga 2021 Local Government Convention and the 2021 Developing Northern Australia Conference. We have two officers' recommendation for this item. The first item recommendation is that council, with respect to the 2021 Developing Northern Australia Conference, be held from the 16th to the 18th of August 2021 in Darwin, pending any COVID-19 restrictions in place at the time of travel, authorises two councillors and the Chief Executive Officer to attend on behalf of the town of Port Hedland. That council notes that the CEO may appoint two officers to attend. That council notes that the reporting will be submitted by those elected members nominated in their attendance to the Chief Executive Officer prior to the 18th of September 2021. Could I please have two names of councillors who are available to attend this conference?
Sorry, point of clarification, Mayor.
Yep.
It says in the item the Mayor and Deputy Mayor. We'll be changing it.
As a point of clarification, we're changing it. Both the Mayor and the Deputy Mayor are unavailable to attend, so we're calling for two elected members.
So, Councillor Unkovich, like to attend? Any others like to attend? No. Councillor Turner? Okay. Can I have a mover, please?
I'll move that.
Mover, Councillor Gillingham. Thank you, Councillor Gillingham. May I have a seconder?
Yes, I'll second.
Councillor Bartho, thank you. Is anyone against the motion? Are there any questions? As the motion is not opposed, I declare the motion carried 8-0. The second officer's recommendation is that council, with respect to the Walga 2021 Local Government Convention, to be held from the 19th to the 21st September 2021 in Perth, authorises the Mayor and Deputy Mayor and two elected councillors and the Chief Executive Officer to attend on behalf of the town of Port Hedland. The council notes that the CEO may appoint the town officers to attend. That council appoints the Mayor and Deputy Mayor voting delegates and two councillors as proxy voting delegates for the Walga AGM on the 20th of September 2021. That council note it falls within the 9th of September and 16th of October 2021 caretaker period, and attendance of conferences is permitted by the town's policies. That council note that the report will be submitted by those elected members nominated on their attendance to the Chief Executive Officer prior to the 15th of October 2021, and that council reschedules the 21st September 2021 ordinary council meeting held on the 29th of September in accordance with Part 3 of the Town of Port Hedland Standing Orders Local Law 2014. Can we please have the names of two councillors who are available who would like to attend the Wagga?
Through the chair, could I move an amendment to the motion to point 1? I'd like to move the motion that, if I may, could it be that all councillors be allowed to go to those that are available. Unfortunately, I cannot go myself because of the time frame, but this is a great opportunity for councillors to actually attend. So I just would like to know that I could actually amend that to all councillors being offered to go.
So we'll offer it to all the councillors.
Yes, thank you. Okay. In the past, I've known all councillors attend, and they get so much out of attending something like the local government convention.
Yep, thank you, Councillor Gillingham. Okay, can we have a number of councillors who are available and like to attend the Wagga 2021 local government convention? Councillor Turner, Councillor McDonough, Councillor Unkovic, Councillor Kuming. Anybody else? Okay, thank you.
Through the chair, can I move that amended motion, Mr. May?
Not sure you need to, Councillor. Happy to take all nominations and include them in part 1.
Well, thank you very much. Yep. Much appreciated. I really think that all councillors will get so much out of attending, and you're attending as a group, and you'll meet other councils. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, maybe just as a point of order, in terms of part 3 of that recommendation, you need 2 of the 4 councillors going to act as proxies for you in a voting sense for the AGM.
Oh, cool. Yeah, exactly. Can I have 2 councillors that are going? Okay, Councillor Turner and Councillor McDonough.
Sure.
With proxies. Yep. Okay. Could I have a mover, please, for that? Councillor Gillingham, thank you. We have a seconder. Councillor Zielke. Is anyone against the motion? Any more questions? As the motion is not opposed, I declare the motion is carried 8-0. Thank you.
Thank you, through the chair.
Great. Thank you, Councillor Gillingham. Item 12, reports of communities. There are no reports for communities. Item 13, a motion of previous notice has been given. Item 13.1, community safety and youth issues. We have one motion which notice was given at the ordinary council meeting held on the 3rd of June 2021 by Councillor Turner. Councillor Turner, do you wish to move on your motion?
Yes. Mayor, I'd like to move the motion.
Yep, thank you. Can I have a seconder, please, on Councillor Unkovic? Councillor Turner, do you wish to speak to your motion?
No, I think I spoke to it last week.
Yep, okay. Thank you, Councillor Turner. Are there any questions?
Yes, just on the point I brought up before, when could we discuss about a junior council to form a youth council to organise problems to get the younger people to give us we haven't arranged anything like that. Maybe we could have a meeting with us and discuss whether it is going to be worthwhile. Because I think it will be worthwhile 100% to get the junior people. When I say junior, I don't mean the 10-year-olds. I'm talking about teenagers, people up to around about 21, 22, in that category. The same as Karratha's trying to do at the moment. Karratha has 4 on the books at the moment, juniors. They've also got 2 seniors, and they're extending that to 8. So I did speak to those people. And as I said before, we've got the police backing on that particular argument because I was in the police station discussing it with them, and they were quite willing to go with it. As I said, the youth Roban youth community, they also want to get involved. So I think it'd be a good idea if our council, or particular councils, or perhaps our workers from our offices down below got in touch with these people. I do have their names, and maybe we could get a little meeting going like we've had the other last meeting we had with the police here, everybody else here. Let's have Karratha involved in Roban, and let's get something happening with them. I think you're going to find a big improvement and a long way you go with the youth. Instead of the youth just being stuck against the wall and the police, let them talk, let them bring it out themselves. That's what's got to happen in this town and the other towns as well. And the towns that I suggested are our neighbours. It's only an hour away, hour and a half away. They are our neighbours that come into us. And between us all, I reckon we can do a good job.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Kimmy. I'll be covered in the motion. Thank you very much. Okay, is anyone against? No. Put it to the vote. All those in favour? Motion is carried 8-0. Thank you. Okay. Item 14, nature of an urgent nature. There are late items. There is no new business of urgent nature. Item 15, matters for which a meeting may be closed, confidential matter. We have a recommendation before us to close the meeting to the public to consider item 15.1, authorised to negotiate tenure over land. Can I have a mover, please, to go on? Councillor Zilke.
I'll second.
Second, Councillor Bartha. Thank you. Is any against the motion? As the motion is not opposed, I declare it carried 8-0. I now declare the meeting closed to the public at 1:25 p.m. Okay, the recommendation is that council consider the report and resolve that council authorises the Chief Executive Officer to enter direct deal negotiations with the Department of Planning no, we can't.
Yeah, sorry, just to enter direct negotiations with.
Okay, the council authorises the Chief Executive Officer to enter direct dealing negotiations to obtain tenure over land identified in the comprehensive report. Thank you. Item 16, closure. 16.1, the date of the next meeting. That brings us to the end of the meeting. The next ordinary council meeting will be held on Wednesday, the 28th of July, 2021, commencing at 5:30 p.m. 16.2, closure. There being no further business, I declare the meeting closed at 7:32 p.m. Thank you, councillors, members of the public, CEO and the staff for attending tonight's meeting. Thank you.